homeland, he enjoys a near godlike status. Great players hail him as a batting genius. He is intelligent and handsome, yet decency and humility are his watchwords. Still one of the finest batsmen in the world today, Sachin Tendulkar is one of ESPN's legends of cricket.
This is high in the air, and how far is that going? That's up in the terraces.
Eden Park, Auckland, March 1994. On a seaming wicket, Sachin Tendulkar was promoted to open the batting in a one-day international against New Zealand. He made 84 from 49 balls.
As they're all getting to their feet for one of the great one-day innings you'll ever see.
Tendulkar will go down certainly in Indian history, I think, as probably their best player. And there have been some very good ones, but this modern Indian generation, where they've been able to see him play all his cricket on television, I think will result in him being remembered forever.
And he's going through the covers again, and that's another four. Well, where can this man hit them? He can hit them everywhere.
Child prodigy, I think, is one of those very few great players who started off looking special. You know, at the age of 14, 15, anybody who saw him realized that he was a child prodigy, and he never let anybody down. You know, we had huge expectations when we saw him the first time, and Indian expectations can be quite, you know, heavy and sometimes could be a little impractical as well, but he fulfilled all those expectations.
And look at that, just straight down the pitch. This man is a wonderful player, and we're seeing the best of him today.
Beautiful shot. Oh, awesome.
Tendulkar's technique is the benchmark for modern batsmen. Don Bradman believed that he was the closest thing to himself that he'd ever seen.
The best way to sum up Tendulkar's technique is to go back to what Sir Donald Bradman said about him. And that is that when Bradman was watching him bat one day and he said to his wife, "Come and have a look at this bloke bats like me." And he was talking about Tendulkar.
I think he's the most complete batsman of his age and perhaps of all time, because he scored runs against every kind of bowling, everywhere in the world, every situation, all kinds of pitches, and that's something you can't say about everybody in the world.
Oh, hello. What a smashing shot.
I think he's the best player in the world today, without a shadow of doubt. A small man you see like Bradman, but his footwork is out of this world. Tremendous, so much time in which to play the ball, and again, as I said about all greats, tremendous balance, and there's a lot to be said for that.
Tendulkar is close to being the most perfect batsman one has ever seen. His back left is straight, his balance is unbelievable, he can play off either foot, he can play on either side, and again, that ability that separates, you know, the men from the boys, the ability to hit the good ball for boundaries or sixes.
Great shot. Absolutely smashed it to the boundary.
All out appeal, this could be very close, he's given it.
Tendulkar also influences the game with his skillful bowling and athletic and accurate fielding. But with the bat, he devastates bowlers and dominates games.
That's a crashing shot through extra cover.
Sachin as a batsman is just, you know you're watching someone special. You know that you're photographing someone who would only come along, you know, say once every 100 years.
He brought a new dimension to Indian cricket. You had a Gavaskar on the one hand who grind bowlers out and who brought a lot of pride for us as a world-class batsman. But suddenly here was someone who's taking attacks apart. And I think Tendulkar was a product of his generation. He came in when India were a prouder nation, India as a nation had greater self-belief, and he came in at a time when India was looking for that kind of hero.
Oh, what a shot. Gore, stand up and pour. A beautiful on drive.
Charging and playing it over mid-wicket.
This incredible star, who is, you know, sometimes they say the stock market would have gone up with Sachin's performances. You know, the whole Indian, you know, population, you know, wanting him to succeed, and going around with that on your shoulders for 20 years, you know, that is, you know, the most amount of pressure, you know, a cricketer can seriously have on his shoulders. So everyone would just say, you know, he's been the most phenomenal technician, but the hunger and drive and passion the guy has had to have that longevity is phenomenal.
Pulls it away through the onside. He's heading for another one.
Growing up in the cricket-mad city of Mumbai, the young Sachin Tendulkar was drawn to the game after watching India triumph in the 1983 World Cup.
Long back in 1983, I was just 10 years old and I saw India lifting the World Cup. That really inspired me a lot. And I used to bat 5 times a day in the nets. And that really helped me a lot, and I played lots and lots of practice matches which gave me match temperament, because however long you may practice, you need to go out there in the middle and score runs.
Tendulkar began his first-class career with a century at just 15 years of age. He went on to become the first batsman to make a century on debut in each of the 3 Indian domestic competitions.
One of the things that always struck me about Tendulkar, I played with him in the first 6-7 years of his career, was that whenever he got success, he became more careful about it. You know, he was never arrogant, never casual about his cricket.
Tendulkar made his Test debut at the age of 16 years and 205 days. He faced the challenge of playing Test cricket at such a young age with remarkable composure.
The day he got into the Indian team, he started batting in the nets. He looked so good that everybody knew that this fellow is going to go very, very far. When he was technically sound, he had very cool head on his shoulders. And it was, you know, like the way his body language and the way he behaved. It never looked as if he came into the Indian team for the first time.
Yeah, I was terribly nervous. I didn't know what was happening around me. I thought for a sec it was a school game going on, and I batted like as if you know, one would bat in a school game, which is that particular moment I can never forget, because I felt this was the first and the last Test match of my career.
Struck away down the offside. That's a beautifully hit shot by Tendulkar.
Following